What's up guys, Sarah Winstead here, bikini athlete and coach for Pro Physique. And today I have a special video talking all about improvement season, answering questions from you. So I put a question box up on my Instagram a little earlier this week asking you guys what questions you had for me all about improvement season. You guys sent some really good questions in, and so I'm going to read off some of the questions here, go through them, and hopefully this helps answer some common things and common mysteries and dispel some rumors and everything like that you guys have about improvement season in terms of the time between your shows. Stepping off stage, going into your reverse diet, that kind of kicks off with a bang your improvement season. That's kind of how I define it for a lot of my clients. And it can be as long or as short as you want it to be. I'll dive deeper into that as well as we kind of move through it. In my personal opinion, there is no off season. I think season has a connotation to it where just like, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm off stage. I'm off season. So I can just do whatever I want to. And then I'll just go back into prep whenever I want to. No, I say if you really want to go far in this sport, if you're really dedicated to stepping on stage year after year or multiple times over the course of your competitive career, then you need to act like it in every single season. You need to be an athlete in every single season. Every day matters. Just like I say, every rep matters, every set matters. The time that you take, especially for improvement season, is, in my opinion, the most critical time. That's where the magic happens. That to me is one of the best parts of bodybuilding because that means you're a bodybuilder. You get to build some muscle mass, take into account your feedback, and really, really grow as an athlete in this sport. So let's go ahead and dive into the questions. So the first one is goals. What are the goals of improvement season? So this is where, number one, getting your feedback from your last show is very, very important from the judges, as well as your feedback from your coach about kind of how your prep went, what your physique looks like, and what you can improve upon during that improvement season, hence the name. And so taking that into account, some of your feedback could be, hey, I need you to put on more muscle mass. Period. End of statement. That's what my feedback was in 2020. Everywhere. Sandy was very specific with me, upper body and lower body. The judges will tell you where you need to add density, where you need to add muscle mass, and areas in which you might need to stop growing or take down. Sometimes that could be the feedback. If genetically your lower body is very overpowering and you're not going to be having the goal to compete in like a wellness division, then it might be a case where you need to, not really train quads as much. Maybe you need to make a plan with your coach about having the goal of, tailoring your training to fit the criteria of the division that you want to be in, but also what your feedback was and use that to set your goals. So I use that example of like tapering down muscle groups. Maybe that means, hey, we just kind of not train legs as much, still hit them, but in a way that maintains the muscle that you already have, maybe in your glutes and hamstrings, but maybe tapers down or taking out things like leg extensions or, barbell back squats, maybe in favor of other movements and, just being more strategic about when it comes to training. So those are kind of goals that you set for yourselves based upon your feedback from the judges. So for example, more muscle mass. A lot of bikini athletes are looking for more muscle density in their upper body. Now, that could mean, hey, we, look at our bodies in the actual, stage photos and things like that. And then we look at our bodies in improvement season and see if we've added the density. Where can we add it? Does it mean, okay, I need more, front, lateral, and rear delts? Okay, great. Let's hit all three of the heads of the shoulders and making sure we're feeling the muscles working in our training sessions. We're training hard enough and recovering well enough to elicit those muscles to grow and to come back better. And that means, a combination of training, a combination of food and calories and nutrient partitioning and timing and getting very intentional when it comes to our nutrition. And then the other factor, the biggest factor, honestly, is time. Giving yourself enough time to get there, because losing body fat does not take as much time as it does to build muscle mass. Muscle building takes a lot longer to do, and it's a whole lot longer the longer you're in the sport, the longer you're training, and the harder you're training and things like that. So it's not always about adding weight to the bar or anything like that. It could be perfecting your form. It could be, that squeezing that muscle in the right area. For me, it's my glutes. They're the slowest for me to grow. And so I know that I need to actually squeeze them to really feel the muscle working, because if I can't feel it working, then the odds are it's not getting as strong or maybe not getting as optimal activation as possible. And so there are many ways. So definitely talk to your coach after you step off stage, after you get the judges' feedback, and set some really good goals for yourself from a physique standpoint. Then you could move into different goals from a mindset standpoint, because as a competitor, at the end of contest prep, we're very food focused. We're counting the minutes till our next meal. We are very regimented when it comes to our food. And maybe we have mindset goals of, hey, eventually once I reverse up into maintenance, I want to have date night with my husband. That's a great goal to have for improvement season. Or I want to have more energy throughout the day. Great goal for an improvement season. Or I want to be able to go out to dinner and order something other than just a chicken breast and some steamed vegetables. Get a little bit more creative with our meals, learn new recipes. All of these things can be goals for yourself for improvement season. Because of the rigidity of prep, sometimes we get those blinders on and we're just like, oh, is prep all there is? No, there is a life outside of prep. And improvement season is the time for you to take to embrace those other hobbies, those other things and other aspects of life and other parts of your identity as a bodybuilder. You can embrace those in improvement season. So setting some goals for yourself. Yes, physique, number one, especially if you want to compete again and bring back a better physique. Like I said, training, nutrition, and time. But then other goals could be a mindset perspective. They could be some personal and professional goals you want to set for yourself for improvement season. One of the goals for me I had was to move into this house. And we did that over the course of my improvement season. It's one of the main reasons why I did not enter a contest prep into this year, because scheduling, a contest prep and making sure you can devote the most amount of your time and brain power to it is a huge, huge discussion factor when you're looking at other life and career and things happening in your world. So, goals. I think I just about covered everything when it comes about goals. How long? So again, this also can kind of depend upon your goals. So if your goals are to build muscle mass, that and a significant amount of muscle mass, like that's not going to happen in 2 months. Shit, it may not even happen in 6 months. For me, it's taken me 2 years. 2 years. And I still, I think I've built enough muscle mass. I don't know. We're going to find out next year. But if I haven't, then great. Wonderful. Back to the drawing board, back to embracing bodybuilding, and building some more muscle mass and having fun with the sport. But giving yourself enough time to do that. Because if maybe you're like an amateur and you placed, third or fourth in your class and your goal is to move up and maybe win your class next year or something like that and qualify for that national stage. Fantastic goal to have. Look at who placed up there. Look what the judges are looking for. Analyze it. Go to shows. Embrace the nature of the sport. But then realize that it's going to take you some time to get there. As far as hey, it may take longer. It may take you 3 to 4 months just to feel normal again. Just to be up to that maintenance phase and feeling good about yourself, embracing those hobbies and date night again and getting towards those mindset goals. And then on top of that, it could take 6, 9, 10, 12 months or longer, depending upon how much muscle mass you currently have, what your training age is, where your calories are, and then also, how your body responds. Everyone grows muscle at different rates based upon our genetics, based upon, again, how hard we train, what our previous, if we played sports when we were younger, if we didn't play sports when we were younger, that all impacts our rate and our ability to build muscle mass. But ultimately, it's up to you to put in the work every single day to give your body the best opportunity to build muscle mass over time. So that kind of covers a little bit more about maybe how long to take for improvement season, but talk to your coach. Ultimately, this is a great discussion to have with your coach, maybe midway through, once you get up to maintenance, okay, look at our physique. Where are we now? Where do we want to be? How long is it going to take to get there? I do like having calls with my clients a lot during improvement season, just to check in every few months or so. But okay, where are we? Where are we supposed to be? Obviously, we have our weekly check-ins, but from a big picture standpoint, are we still going towards our goal? How are we doing consistency-wise? How are we doing adherence-wise? And how are we doing, obviously, mindset-wise as well? Which leads me into my next question. Improvement season mindset. How to, I hate the word embrace the fluff or fix season or anything like that, because I feel like that has a negative connotation to it. But a lot of people asked a question about, improvement season mindset and embracing our body in this season, because we don't have a six pack. we're not supposed to in improvement season. We're not supposed to be stage lean in improvement season. If you want to make the improvements, that requires you to get out of that prep mindset and get into improvement season mindset and love your body in every single season. It's absolutely imperative. There are going to be bad body image days. Trust me, I have them as well. It's going to happen. But knowing how to navigate that, being able to zoom out and look at the bigger picture and say, wow, look at my body, and being grateful for all your body does for you and how hard it works and how hard you push it. And it's going to grow, it's going to change, it's going to look different over time. But that mindset, so like food focus should be at a minimum during improvement season. You should still have maybe some hunger, before meals, and look forward to food, not be like over stuffing yourself on occasion, but look forward to your meals, but not be counting the minutes. That's the difference between like prep and improvement season. You shouldn't be counting the minutes to your next meal or like constantly worried about your food or anything like that. By now, you should have already developed the habits that you had in contest prep that made you successful in contest prep of planning ahead, being intentional, making sure you have very balanced plates of protein, fats, and carbohydrates to every single meal, having a good, pre and post workout meal that's going to fuel you with good fat digesting carbohydrates. You should already have these things in place, but you work on that mindset around food and everything like that, and that mindset in general in improvement season of just being like, yes, there are times and places to be more flexible with yourself. There's times and places to allow yourself to have a date night. It's okay. The scale's going to go up. Oh, well, whatever. Get back on track. It's going to be fine. It's a sodium fluctuation, I promise you. And so, yes, there's times and places to work on your mindset, but I think it starts with a lot of gratitude for yourself and your body and what you've put it through in contest prep, and being grateful for it and just being very happy and positive about it in improvement season, and knowing that the work that you're putting in now in improvement season, knowing this in your brain as far as like what I'm doing right now is going to help me when I get back into contest prep. It's going to help me bring a better physique. And that does require, us to be a little bit better about our relationship with food, a little bit less food focused, focusing on other things and other aspects of our life, hobbies, like I mentioned, moving, career changes, family, friends, things like that. Obviously you're still living the lifestyle of a bodybuilder. You're still hitting your macros, hitting your water, hitting your cardio, your steps, doing all the things to put your body in a great position, but you're allowing yourself some flexibility from time to time. Taking an actual vacation, not going absolute balls to the wall ham, but enjoying yourself on the vacation, still having some good goals on your vacation, but embracing that improvement season mindset, because it can be a very beautiful thing once you learn to embrace that kind of, it's not really a balance, because the balance is more so what you create with it, as far as just like everything is not going to be 110% balanced. Whoop. Put that right back up there. It's not going to be 110% balanced. It's going to be, you're going to have your priorities of bodybuilding and what you need to do accomplish there. You're going to have your opportunities to be with family and friends and be social and hobbies and work on career things over here as well. But some things are going to take more priorities than others in every single day. And that's just life in general. Obviously, stress and sleep are huge parts of this as well. Managing those things in improvement season come along with and even help your mindset too. So, next one is going to be similar to it, my thoughts around like untracked meals, my thoughts around cheat meals in improvement season. Number one, I don't use the word cheat meals ever. Like, I don't even like the phrase free meals, because cheat meals and free meals, I got this question a lot. They imply a negative connotation around food. They'd be like, ooh, I'm cheating. Like, I'm being bad. And I'm just like, no, like, let's not, if you're going to go out to dinner with your spouse, like that should not be an opportunity to be bad and cheat. And I'm just like, no, just stop that. So get it out of your brain. I prefer the term untracked meal, or loosely tracked meal if you prefer, because that's exactly what it is. We're simply going out, having a meal, not being a complete asshat about it, and we're enjoying our food, we're enjoying the social time, because that is way more important than whatever it is on your plate, because that plate of food, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. That restaurant or that meal or that dish is always going to be there. But the memories you make with friends and family during those special times is unforgettable, and that should be your priority. That's, again, where mindset kind of ties into this as well. Those things are very important. Is there room for untracked and loosely tracked meals? Yes, tons of them. Obviously, within reason, but making sure that you have them maybe once every couple of weeks, having a date night, once every few months, going on a vacation with your family, like any normal thing. Again, you shouldn't be counting the minutes until your loosely tracked meal or untracked meal. No, that's when we need to work more on mindset. But having those in is a great part of improvement season to give yourself a break from the rigidity of contest prep. And so talk to your coach about the untracked meals, about loosely tracked meals. They can give you some great parameters. I give my competitors great ideas and great parameters when it comes to untracked meals, loosely tracked meals, because a lot of them will have a lot of anxiety going into those situations. And I'm just like, nope, we need it. This is proof that we need it. And I ask them afterwards, how'd you do? How'd it go? We always learn from it, we evaluate, and we get better as we go on with this as well, because that's all about improvement season. All right, last question. Got a lot of this. Weight gain. Weight gain, weight gain, weight gain. I really don't like this question. Really don't, but it needs to be answered because it is a thing that happens in improvement season. I don't want my competitors staying 5 pounds away from stage. Like, that's just stupid. No, I'm not doing that. Like, you need to actually gain some weight. If your goal is to build muscle mass, body fat, weigh the same. Body fat takes up more space. Muscle mass, a lot more dense, a lot less space, but they weigh the same. So the weight that you put on post-show, obviously following your reverse diet as best as you possibly can, that's the critical time, because our body is like a little like shriveled up balloon, and our body really wants to put on body fat post-show. So following your reverse, following whatever your coach's protocols are, make sure you have a coach after your show. Don't just say peace and bye-bye. That is a recipe for disaster in my expert opinion. Like, it really is. And I can dive into a whole post-show thing because I feel like that is warranted as the season starts to wrap up here in the next couple of months. So comment below if you want to see a post-show, my kind of post-show advice as far as like competitors, be they first timers or even seasoned competitors, because post-show can be a disaster if you don't do it correctly. So, but I was saying, oh yes, weight gain post-show. You need to gain weight. You do. And not all of that is going to be body fat. I guarantee you it's not all body fat. And so the weight you gain is dependent upon your goals, which is dependent upon your feedback. So again, here's where your judge's feedback is important. Here's where talking to your coach is very, very important, and setting some good goals and asking them, hey, where do you see me? How much weight do you see me gaining in the improvement season and everything like that? Where do you ultimately want me to be? And that can change as we get into improvement season, because if your body composition is still very good, if you're keeping it pretty tight, but the scale is up more than we thought it was going to be, that's okay. That means you're putting on muscle mass. That means you're just doing all the right things to put your body in a great position to be successful. But if I had to put a number on it, I would say 20-ish%. Not pounds, percent. That looks different on everybody, because if you tell a 5'6" person to only put on, that was like what, 100, maybe 140 pounds on stage, tell them to only put on like 15 pounds or 20 pounds. And I'm just like, no, that looks entirely different based upon their height. Like a 5'6" person versus me, I'm 5'1". 20 pounds on me looks a whole lot different than 20 pounds on somebody else. But again, that's why I talk about percentages. And so looking at that, but obviously maybe you weren't lean enough the first time around. Maybe you need to grow a significant amount of muscle mass and take quite a few years off from stage. Then maybe your percentage is higher. I would just say the average is right around there. Plus, minus, it depends. It depends upon how much muscle you need to build, how much time you're taking off, what your feedback was. That's where I say talk to your coach about those kinds of things. So thank you guys for all of the wonderful, wonderful questions. I really appreciate it. Comment below if you have more questions. I'd be happy to do another in a second kind of part 2 video on this topic, because I think it's very important, especially like I said, as the season starts to wind down. I think we have one national show left for the season, and then it's going to be done, and we're going to enjoy all the holidays, and it's going to be great. But yes, comment below, like, subscribe to the video, to my channel and everything like that. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you in the next video.